the niece of the Vice Minister of Works, 16 years old, charming and lovable, with a face like spring blossoms.
The Vice Minister of Works is truly thoughtful.
Lin Chi, daughter of the Minister of Rights, is an absolute stunner.
Madness. Everything is usually normal, except when it comes to selecting imperial consorts. It was as if the whole world had been twisted by a ghostly hand, with everyone lying through their teeth, calling an 80-year-old crone charming and lovely, and calling the hideous and deformed dignified and fair. It is as if this world operates on a standard of beauty, was frantically running through everyone's minds, leaving only me excluded.
Your Majesty, there are still a few portraits left.
Enough. Wait, open it. Who is this?
In reply to your Majesty, this is the second miss of the Marquis of Yongning's household, Ning Wangshu.
Ning Wangshu. Wangshu, the goddess who drives the moon's chariot and the bright moon itself.
The moon is so round. No matter how round it is, it can't match the fishball takeout from my overtime nights in my past life, nor can it solve my current predicament. In this life, my birth mother resents me, and my father's primary wife harms me. I finally endured until the imperial selection. Yet, my legitimate older sister is the second greatest beauty in the capital. Will the emperor even notice me? In my previous life, with a face like this, I would have been set for life, never having to work myself to death. Suffering at the manor for 16 years, doing endless heavy chores and hard labor. My hands grew calloused, yet I did everything to protect this face. It is my only chance to turn my life around.
Young Miss is just delicate and pretty at best, a world apart compared to the eldest Miss. Born to a concubine, she simply lacks the presence of a legitimate daughter.
Just how beautiful is Ning Qingyan? One can afford to lose 100 times, but must win the final time.
With so many renowned beauties across the capital, His Majesty merely glanced and flipped past them, as cold as ice. Yet the lady in this single portrait is merely delicate. Neat facial features, not ugly but certainly far from breathtaking. In terms of family status and upbringing or etiquette, this second young mistress holds no advantage whatsoever. What on earth does His Majesty see in her?
What kind of person is she?
In reply to your Majesty, this servant knows very little. I only know she is born of a concubine due to an inauspicious horoscope. She was raised in a rural manner from a young age.
A bad horoscope? Was it the legal mother's doing?
Yes, this servant dares not speak further.
This thumb ring was the very first piece handcrafted by His Majesty in his youth. Though rough and crude, His Majesty kept it by his side for years, rubbing and polishing it day and night, regarding it as a personal treasure. Even when the Empress Dowager asked for it, she was quietly refused.
Pick an ordinary piece of jewelry and send it to the Marquis of Yongning's manor.
Your Majesty, is this ring specifically bestowed upon the second young mistress?
Bestow it upon the candidate in the Marquis's manor. It all depends on whether she can claim it.
An obsession bordering on madness. Just what kind of person is this second young mistress Ning?
The draft selection draws nearer each day. There is no retreat. I must win. I must grasp this sole lifeline to crawl out of this quagmire. Otherwise, what awaits me is becoming a concubine to a man as old as my grandfather.
Second young mistress, this way.
Thank you, Nanny. I cannot lose. Losing means death.
Hurry up, stop dawdling. Madam and the eldest young mistress are waiting. Second young mistress, keep up. The paths in the manor are winding. Don't get lost.
Hey, is this the second young mistress back from the manor?
Who else could it be?
Look at her, so rustic and crude.
Compared to our eldest miss, they are truly worlds apart.
Haha, so plain and dull. An eyesore, really. Our eldest Mrs. Beauty, who in the capital doesn't praise it.
Yet this one would completely vanish in a crowd.
My face is striking and radiant. It would stand out anywhere. Plain and bland. What a joke. I don't have the energy for this right now. Staying alive is my top priority at the moment. What on earth does that rumored legitimate elder sister look like?
Second miss, this way, please.
Mother.
Wangshu has returned. You've had a long and tiring journey.
She is just waiting for me to make a mistake. So she has a valid excuse to send me to the estate. Which one is my legitimate elder sister, Ning Qingyan? Ning Qingyan should be standing at the front. Yet this woman in front, compared to the rumored second greatest beauty in the capital, falls drastically short.
Second sister, I finally met you. You just returned from the countryside. It must have been an exhausting journey. If there is anything you don't understand or aren't used to in the future, just tell me. I will definitely look after you.
Greetings, elder sister. It really is Ning Qingyan, delicate and dignified, without any flaws. Ning Qingyan can look like this, but the second most beautiful woman in the capital cannot. Forget comparing to the rumors. Even the maid beside her is prettier.
This rustic concubine-born daughter is clearly dumbfounded by Qingyan's beauty and poise. She is even staring at Qingyan's maid. Truly a low-born, unpresentable thing. With looks like that, she will definitely be eliminated in the second round of the draft. She poses no threat at all. Old Master Shi from our family friends wants to take a new wife. We might as well marry Ning Wangshu off to him. It saves her from being an eyesore around the manor.
Fame is rarely unearned. So how can someone with Ning Qingyan's looks convince the public? The capital is teeming with nobility, and the Marquisate of Yongning doesn't even rank among them. Otherwise, they wouldn't rely on the imperial harem to elevate their house. With such a modest background and such ordinary looks, how did she become known throughout the capital as the second greatest beauty? Would noble ladies of higher birth just stood by and watched without having any objections? It defies logic. And it goes against human nature even more. Could it be Madam, eldest young mistress?
Miss Lin from the Minister of Rights household has arrived.
Lin Qi? The rumored foremost beauty of the capital, supposedly even more striking than Ning Qingyan. I'd like to see for myself if this number one beauty is also as undeserving of the title as Ning Qingyan. She has the face of a matchmaker.
Cheer, you're finally here. If you ask me, in the 3 years of the Weiwei era's draft, you stand out the most. No wonder the Empress Dowager summoned you. You'll surely win the Emperor's favor in the future.
Before I died from overworking in my past life, I downloaded a game called Long Live the Emperor, started a new save, customized the Emperor, and habitually used my own name, Weiwei, as the era name. I transmigrated into the game. This game has a major flaw. NPCs don't judge beauty or ugliness by character portraits at all, only by appearance stats. No matter how stunning the portrait is, you're still considered ugly if your beauty stat is low, no matter how plain the avatar is. Maxing out the beauty stat makes you a devastating beauty.
And a peerless grace.
This was originally a random mechanic, meant to add fun for players in the game. But in the real world, it turned into this absurd reality. The Emperor must also judge beauty strictly by the beauty stat, and my beauty stat isn't very high. This life or death imperial selection was destined to be in vain from the very beginning. I refuse to accept this. Wait, I created this game file myself. The Emperor's personality, preferences, and taboos. I set them all with my own hands. To say I know His Majesty better than anyone in the world would not be an exaggeration at all. This informational advantage is my lifeline. As long as I can gain an audience with the Emperor, even if he truly judges by appearance stats, I might still stand a chance, because I understand the tyrant's mind.
Cheer, don't be overly modest. Although the current Emperor has a difficult temperament, he has been married 4 years without any heirs. Who among the entire court isn't hoping for a prince to be born in the imperial harem? Years ago, the Imperial Observatory cast a divination saying that in the imperial harem, a concubine entering through the selection would be highly fertile, capable of branching out the royal lineage. Your mother bore 4 sons and a daughter, a clear sign of exceptional fertility. You must take after your mother. The person the Imperial Observatory spoke of is clearly you.
Mother is right, with Sister Lin's great fortune. The Empress Dowager summoned you specifically. She has clearly chosen you. Once you enter the palace, you will surely bear royal offspring and rise to the heavens in a single bound.
Aunt, little sister, you must be joking. It is merely Her Dowager Majesty's grace. As for the Imperial Observatory's words, they cannot be taken too seriously.
In their eyes, I'm just here to make up the numbers. This works out well too. The fewer the expectations, the easier it is to survive.
How are those in the imperial harem any different from monsters? I will never favor them. Ning Wangshu, the second young lady of the Marquis of Yongning's household. She is the only presence in all these years. Who can calm me down? Zhang Shangxi, this servant is here. Tell the Imperial Household Department to place the second Miss Ning at the head of her group on the day of the selection.
The head, the Marquis of Yongning's household, is not of the highest rank, and this second young lady is born of a concubine. According to the rules, let alone the head, it is precisely this inscrutability that is the most terrifying.
What?
Yes, yes, yes. This servant shall deliver the word at once. I would never dare delay.
Ning Wangshu. I do not know why either. But from the first moment I saw her, I knew she was different from the others, like a beam of light. She can soothe the restlessness I have harbored for years. Merely catching a glimpse of her brings peace to my heart.
Madam, someone has arrived from the palace. His Majesty has bestowed imperial gifts.
Quick, invite them in. Cheer, these rewards are most likely meant for you.
Aunt, you jest. We have not even seen the items yet.
You have traveled far, eunuch. Thank you for your trouble. Please take the seat of honor.
No need for formalities, madam. By His Majesty's decree, I am here to bestow imperial gifts upon the candidate ladies of your noble manor.
Cheer, step forward quickly and express your gratitude.
Hold on. May I ask, madam, are all the candidate ladies of your esteemed manor present here?
They are all here, all here. This is my daughter, Qing Yan, and this is Minister Lin's daughter, Lin Qi.
Where is the second young mistress?
Wangshu? She is here, she is here. The one standing by the door is her.
By imperial oral decree bestowed upon the Marquis of Yongning, second young mistress Ning Wangshu.
Humph.
This humble maiden thanks His Majesty for his grace.
Even if it is just worthless junk to make up the numbers, it is still an imperial gift from His Majesty, a mere illegitimate daughter from the countryside. Yet, she also received something from His Majesty and even stole my thunder. Truly an unsophisticated country girl, treasuring a piece of worthless thumb ring like it is a prized jewel.
The eldest young mistress is truly formidable. The selection draft hasn't even begun, yet you have already caught His Majesty's eye.
You will surely secure a firm footing in the palace in the future and bring honor to the Marquise's household.
This jade bracelet on the eldest missus is truly adding brilliance to perfection. The more you look at it, the lovelier it is.
She must be seething inside, watching me bask in glory, wearing the jade bracelet, while she can only clutch that battered archer's ring, standing in the corner. No rush. When the selection day arrives, this concubine-born sister will truly understand the insurmountable chasm that lies between us.
Second miss, the madam has already instructed. You are to stay obediently in the carriage. Do not come down and make a mess, lest you clash with auspicious noble heirs and ruin the eldest Miss's future. Years ago, a fortune teller gave a prophecy, twin phoenixes clashing.
Instead, using the excuse of my being sent away, she played weak and pitiable before the Marquis, gaining even more favor, living in glory ever since, and never again mentioning me, her abandoned daughter. I must never become a replacement wife for the shy family. I will never wither away in a desolate, secluded manner.
What sheer, rotten bad luck. Ever since we fetched this second miss from the countryside, serving an abandoned pawn doomed to be a replacement wife, what kind of future could I possibly have?
The Marquise's estate sending a daughter as a replacement wife is an open secret throughout the household. No one believes I can pass the draft selection. A concubine's daughter of crude manners and plain looks. How could she ever catch the emperor's eye?
My lord, this concubine.
These so-called relatives have long treated me as an abandoned pawn, compared to counterfeit family affection. My own life is what matters most of all. Noble ladies in the capital all wear heavy rouge. The thicker, the better. My legitimate elder sister must have used half a box today. Yet, I vaguely remember. The emperor despises women drenched in heavy cosmetics. Yet strangely, this detail was never rumored in the capital. Today, with a completely bare face, others assume I cannot match my elder sister in looks, and cannot afford fine rouge, and simply gave up. Only I know the truth. I am gambling that this emperor, still follows my original character settings. I will never just wait around to die. Even if I must give everything I have, I will seize this last chance of survival.
My dear, put your mind at ease today. His Majesty bestowed a jade bracelet upon you before. Isn't his intention clear enough? Bearing an imperial heir soon is your true priority.
Do not worry, Mother. I understand.
Perform well today. Do not bring shame to our Marquis Manor. The manor has groomed you for years. You ought to take first place.
With eldest Mrs. Beauty and Grace, His Majesty will surely fancy you at first sight.
With His Majesty's prior favor, no noble lady in the capital can compare to eldest Miss.
I will heed Father and Mother's teachings and never let the Marquis Manor down.
Eldest sister is the prettiest. Eldest sister will definitely be chosen and become a noble consort.
Good girl, Schwaner. Once I enter the palace, I'll bring you palace pastries.
Ha ha ha.
She is just a laughingstock meant to make me shine, a discarded pawn destined to be a second wife, unworthy to be compared with me.
In their eyes, I am not even worth being a foil. Yet I do not believe in fate, since I set the rules of this world myself. I hold the capital to turn the tables.
Eldest Miss looks radiant today. His Majesty will surely be delighted.
Flatterer. By the way, inquire after the draft. About when the Shy family plans to take her away.
Rest assured, eldest Miss, this servant will keep it in mind.
Going barefaced is only the first step. The Emperor's traits, preferences, and pet peeves. I know every single one by heart. As long as I can stand before him, I can make him notice me. This thumb ring is the first signal that the Emperor has taken note of me. No rush. It is not time to decide the victor yet.
Concubine, today is the second Mrs. Draft selection. Are you really not going to see her off, no matter what? She is still your biological daughter.
I won't go. Just tell others I couldn't bear the parting. That I was overwhelmed with grief and couldn't stand saying goodbye. Lest seeing her only brings more sorrow. By the way, Schwener said she wanted that set of silk flowers. And Xiaocheng needs new brushes and ink. Go purchase them all. Yes. As for that useless eyesore of a daughter, she is destined to be the Shy family's replacement bride sooner or later. As her birth mother, it is enough for me to just keep up appearances.
Ha ha ha.
Second Miss Ning, this way please.
Back when I set the Emperor's preferences, I gave him a fondness for begonia flowers. As for why? Because of me. The Emperor's likes and taboos were entirely modeled after my own. When designing the game, I took shortcuts while wanting immersion. In a way, I don't need to rack my brains guessing what the Emperor likes at all. What I like is what the Emperor likes.
The Marquis Yongning's household is truly clever. Making the concubine-born daughter wear the same color makes the eldest Miss look even more ethereal by comparison. This second Miss Ning is quite pitiful too, turned into a mere stepping stone for her whole life. I heard they were born on the same day, one legitimate, one concubine-born. Their fates are worlds apart.
Rather than indulging in verbal bickering, what matters more, right now, is quietly spreading the word that our tastes align, catching the Emperor's eye. This is my only path to survival. It is also my first time learning how to catch a man's attention, and a ruthless, bloodthirsty tyrant at that.
Sister, was this bracelet truly bestowed by the Emperor himself? Its jade quality and craftsmanship.
One can tell at a glance that it is a treasure from the palace, with such favor from His Majesty.
Sister will surely be chosen today. Just be extra careful, sister, and don't displease His Majesty.
Have you heard? His Majesty is also wearing a moonlight white robe today.
Is moonlight white a bit too plain?
Mother, I will wear this outfit. His Majesty has always valued etiquette, yet today he happened to change his clothes and chose moonlight white, the exact same color I am wearing. His Majesty bestowed gifts first and changed his robes after. Isn't His Majesty's intention clear enough? Compared to the luxurious brocade dress I'm wearing, she is worlds apart. She is not even worthy to carry my shoes.
The one on second sister Ning's wrist is also an imperial gift, right? After all, being sisters allows her to share in this blessing. It really is good fortune, isn't that right? If not for the eldest young mistress, how could she ever be worthy of an imperial gift?
A country bumpkin is always a country bumpkin, so ignorant. She knows nothing of the capital's trendy hairpins and jewelry, daring to wear some trashy crabapple branch in her hair, tacky to the extreme.
I really want to just yank it off. If I really pulled it off, would that count as a makeover or a mutilation for Lin Chi?
Second sister Ning, why aren't you wearing any rouge or powder today?
I was just waiting for someone to ask. The palace audition is about to begin. Who knows how many eyes are watching us from the shadows, ready to report to their superiors at any moment. This is the perfect chance for me to send a message. I don't like wearing rouge or powder. It only makes me uncomfortable. I prefer a simpler look, though I am quite fond of this crabapple blossom.
Where is the Empress?
Your Majesty. Her Majesty the Empress is right inside the hall.
Not just the Empress. All the consorts who came along earlier had their appearances changed overnight. Only noble Lady Zhen and Zhao Yufu remained as usual.
The Emperor is losing his temper again.
He is naturally tyrannical, not even sparing the palace maids.
Speak. What does the Empress you see look like?
Your Majesty, have mercy. Her Majesty the Empress looks just like Her Majesty the Empress. This servant saw nothing.
I once suspected I was going mad, or had been cursed by some evil spirit. The infighting among the concubines never ceased. Poisonings, frame-ups, and conspiracies played out one after another. Every single time I was dragged into it, forced to judge who was innocent and who was the culprit. I could clearly spot the flaws at a single glance. Yet every investigation was mysteriously obstructed, clues vanishing into thin air.
Your Majesty, do you not remember? Back then, you personally promised to take me as your wife.
The keepsake was authentic, and those around me confirmed it was true. Yet I didn't recognize her at all, without the slightest memory of her. Only then did I fully realize something was terribly wrong with this world. Whenever it involved women, or the inner palace, everything I saw was different from what others saw. These distortions were like a tight web, suffocating me completely. 3 years of mental and physical exhaustion turned my temperament increasingly violent. Only through slaughter, watching the blood of those who provoked me spill on the spot, could I slightly ease the restlessness and madness in my heart, and tell whether I was truly sane or had genuinely lost my mind. I could tell none of this to anyone. Speaking of it would shock the world, and I would only be treated as a madman. In the past, it didn't matter. I thought this world was long doomed anyway, but now things are different. My moon has given up on Gao Shun. Heaven has taken pity on me. I must protect my moon and guard Wangshu well.
I, the Empress, have long fallen out of favor for years. During this draft, I intended to win over Ning Qingyan to solidify my power using her family's influence. Yet His Majesty actually kept that unremarkable concubine's daughter as well, even breaking convention to grant them both the rank of first-class female attendant. Both young ladies being granted the rank of first-class female attendant is quite a charming tale. However, both ladies share the surname Ning. When they reside in the palace in the future, there must be a way to distinguish them. This consort believes it would be best to bestow an honorific title upon Ning Qingyan. It reflects rank and hierarchy and complies with palace etiquette to show gratitude for your Majesty's benevolence. This consort shall have the Imperial Household Department draft a few characters for your Majesty's imperial selection.
No need. Decide for yourself.
The Emperor cannot even be bothered with Ning Qingyan's title. Customarily, even if bestowed casually, he should personally decide it. How could he be so dismissive? This consort obeys your Majesty's decree. I shall make the arrangements at once.
Whenever I think of him, my taut nerves of so many years can finally relax, and the bloodthirsty urge deep within can be barely suppressed. The inner palace is full of bizarre chaos and endless turmoil. If she stands out too much, she will easily become a target for all. Yet in the end, I could not hold back and let her enter the palace. I fear that an overly obvious favoritism will make her a thorn in everyone's side, and I fear even more that those eerie disruptions might reach her. I cannot even tell if the world before me is real or an illusion, and I cannot even protect myself. Yet I wish to keep her safe and sound, radiant as autumn stars and moon, reserved yet luminous. What do you think of the title, Hua?
The Imperial Edict has arrived. How could it be so fast? According to the rules, after the palace selection, the edict conferring ranks takes at least 3 to 5 days. The selection was just concluded today. How could it arrive right at this moment?
Marquis Yonging, receive the Imperial Edict.
This special honor must be meant for me. Though the reigning emperor has a reputation for tyranny, he has now become my backing to fight back against the Marquis's manner. How fickle the world is.
Allow this humble servant to congratulate you first, Lord Marquis. This edict is the very first one issued from the palace. The ranks of the young mistresses from other families are yet to be settled. Yet His Majesty had this delivered to the Marquis's Yongning manor first. Even the instructing matron was sent along with it. His Majesty cares deeply for both young mistresses. On the day of the palace selection, this second young mistress was led by head matron Liu herself straight to the front of the line. She outranked the Duke's daughter, and even surpassed her own legitimate elder sister. Such an honor was definitely no coincidence. By the grace of heaven, the Emperor decrees Ning Qingyan, eldest legitimate daughter of the Marquis of Yongning, is hereby conferred the title of first-class female attendant. Effective today, she shall receive guidance and rights under the matron.
This subject's daughter thanks your majesty for your immense grace. Given our Marquisate's status, entering the palaces as a first-class female attendant is already quite high. The emperor truly values me.
Ning Wangshu, second daughter of the Marquis of Yongning, is dignified, refined, gentle, and submissive. She shall receive guidance and rights under the matron. Respect this.
She was actually made a first-class female attendant just like me. I thought she would be a second-class female attendant at most. I refuse to accept this.
Young mistresses, why have you not accepted the decree and given thanks?
This subject's daughter thanks your majesty for your immense grace.
This servant also brings an oral decree from Her Majesty the Empress.
This oral decree must be meant for me. It will surely put me above Ning Wangshu.
Hear the oral decree of Her Majesty the Empress. Bestow upon first-class female attendant Ning Qingyan the honorific Shu. Respect this.
This subject's daughter thanks Her Majesty the Empress for her grace, and thanks His Majesty for his grace. I received an honorific title. Among the newly selected maidens, very few receive an honorific title right away. The Empress values me, and so does the Emperor. So what if we share the same rank? I have an honorific title, while she does not. We are still worlds apart.
My daughter not only has a rank, but also an honorific title. This is a rare honor among the newly entering maidens.
Congratulations, eldest young mistress. Congratulations, Lord Marquis. Congratulations, madam.
A titled first-class female attendant brings honor to our household. Qingyan didn't let me down after all.
If only that concubine-born daughter hadn't also been granted the same rank and usurped the imperial favor. With my daughter's grace, beauty, and noble pedigree, her initial rank would have been far beyond a mere first-class female attendant. She should have been at least a noble lady. This concubine-born daughter has been an eyesore ever since she was born. Now she has even stolen my daughter's imperial favor.
She is truly a jinx to her. If His Majesty had not been momentarily confused and granted this concubine-born girl the rank of first-class female attendant, Qingyan's rank would certainly have been one tier higher. This concubine-born daughter is a nuisance, after all.
Lady Ning, the hour grows late. This old servant is decreed to instruct you in the palace etiquette. The rules of the palace are strict, and we must not delay. Please follow me, my lady, and we shall begin at once.
Very well.
Marquis, madam, this old servant will take the young lady to learn etiquette now. My lady, the palace rules are rigid, but one must learn to adapt. Some rules must be learned with utmost precision. This is the foundation for your survival. However, what is even more important is, His Majesty has no heirs. Whoever gives birth to an imperial heir in this harem will secure her footing for the rest of her life. Her future wealth and glory will be second to none. My lady, in this deep palace, neither looks nor family background can compare to having an imperial heir. As long as you can bear an imperial heir, His Majesty will certainly not treat you poorly. The concubines fight both openly and in secret. Some seem gentle on the surface, but are vicious underneath. Don't just focus on learning the rules. You must know what matters most. His Majesty has no heir. The entire court longs for a prince to be born in the imperial harem. As long as you seize this opportunity, you will have nothing to worry about. This is...
I suffered for 16 years on the legal mother's dowry estate, neglected since childhood, let alone learning to read or write. I was lucky just to get a hot meal. Madame Liu wished I'd chop firewood and then feed the pigs.
Stop dawdling and delaying dinner, or you'll be eating chaff.
His Majesty despises heavy rouge and strong scents, so be sure to choose light face powder when His Majesty is pondering state affairs, hates being disturbed the most. If you need him for something, you'd better wait outside the hall for half a day, then rush in rashly and offend him. Just keep these words to yourself.
Can things like this just be said, casually, spying on the emperor and inquiring into His Majesty's preferences? This is a capital crime punishable by 9 family extermination. Yet, it is just being told to me so openly. I never expected this emperor to completely match the game settings. But looking at it now, their preferences are practically identical, from head to toe, inside and out. This man is truly my absolute type.
It seems you have taken my words to heart, young mistress. You should also be aware that in this palace selection, Lady Lin Chi was also chosen and granted the rank of noble lady.
That matchmaker faced Lin Chi, the so-called top beauty of the capital.
Noble Lady Lin was specially chosen by the Empress Dowager. Earlier, the Imperial Astronomical Bureau performed a divination, revealing that one of the new concubines from the draft would be exceptionally fertile and expand the royal lineage. Hearing that the women of the Lin clan are blessed with many children, Her Majesty made a point of selecting her, though Noble Lady Lin's rank is lower than Miss Gao's. Her looks are striking, and blessed with good fortune, she is among the standout picks in this draft. Among the new candidates, only eldest Miss Ning's grace and beauty could barely rival hers.
I can hardly imagine the emperor standing beside her, let alone being intimate.
It is good as long as you keep it in mind, young mistress. What matters most right now is mastering the etiquette thoroughly. The emperor has an unpredictable temper. In the palace, one wrong step leads to utter ruin.
Thank you for your guidance, Nanny. I will keep it in mind. I will engrave every single rule taught by Nanny Q into my very bones. As for Lin Chi and Ning Qingyan, whatever they think or do has nothing to do with me. My battlefield is within the palace, and my rivals were never them. These 2 maids were casually assigned to me back then by Lady Liu. They are mediocre in ability and crude in manner. They were clearly placed as Lady Liu's informants. Now seeing that I was selected, they rushed forward to curry favor. Earlier, Lady Liu was certain I would fail the selection. Now, seeing me granted the same rank of first-class attendant as Ning Qingyan, she changed her attitude quickly. No need. If it were before, I might have played along. But things are different now. Nanny Q's special care over the past few days hinted at something more. Why not simply enter the palace without any maid? The estate servants belong to Lady Liu, while those from the imperial household department belong to the palace. Either way, they are spies. What if the one from the palace was sent by the emperor himself? My 16 years of hardship were no secret to those powerful figures. Entering the palace without a single confidante is a clear demonstration of my loyalty, showing the emperor that I pose no threat at all. As for whether going without a maid would bring shame to the Marquise's household, what does their prestige have to do with me, Attendant Ning? Lady Liu cares so much about saving face, so let her uphold it herself.
That bastard daughter refuses to appreciate my kindness. She has merely been named a first-class attendant, yet she dares to defy her lawful mother like this.
Mother, that Nanny Q who is teaching Ning Wangshu the rules is no ordinary senior servant from the palace.
What is there to panic about? She is just an old servant from the palace. What kind of grand status could she possibly hold?
She used to serve His Majesty's birth mother.
What? What did you say? She served His Majesty's birth mother. A person of such status was sent to teach that bastard daughter. Had I known earlier, I would have had Qingyan claim her no matter what. Nanny who? Did consort descend a letter the day before yesterday? This old servant is here. It seems that wretched girl is of some use after all.
Because of this, we can win Consort D's favor and also get rid of that eyesore Ning Wangshu.
It is rather strange. That bastard daughter is remarkably resilient. At the rural estate, I had the old maids say everything they should and do everything they ought to do. They forced her to bathe in cold water during her courses and deliberately deprived her of warm clothes in the dead of winter. Yet, she somehow survived unbroken. But so what? In the end, she is merely paving the way for us. If she knows her place and behaves obediently, she might keep her life. If she doesn't,
even if Ning Wangshu has entered the palaces and been titled an attendant, what of it? In the end, she is nothing more than a tool for me to secure an ally and bear children.
This child actually resembles the emperor somewhat, and even their tastes align astonishingly well. The emperor is finally going to meet someone who truly pleases his heart.
In all these years, this is the first time I've seen a lady so joyful to enter the palace. Others look back at every step, weeping and wailing. Yet this attendant Ning is remarkably lucid and cheerful.
For 16 years, that gate only ever opened for others. Today, it has finally closed behind me.
You're lowborn, the daughter of a concubine, born inferior to everyone else. You deserve to be trampled by your legal mother and elder sister. You don't deserve good things. You don't deserve to be cherished. You don't deserve to hold your head high. Soaking in cold water during your courses keeps you clean. Don't you understand? Freezing until you're completely numb builds the best constitution. Young mistress, this servant is doing this for your own good.
All these years, whenever Madame Liu was in a foul mood, I was her punching bag. In name, the second young mistress of the Marquis household, yet living a life far worse than a peasant's daughter on the estate, constantly deprived of my monthly allowance. No charcoal in winter, no ice in summer. Nothing but coarse, throat-scratching cold leftovers and hard-steamed buns. Even the dogs on the estate ate better than I did. Far more terrifying than the physical torment was the psychological destruction. If I didn't possess the soul of an adult within me, I would have perished long ago in that bleak, hopeless estate.
I thought it would be attendant Shu Ning Qingyan who would move into noble consort D's palace. After all, noble consort D and Madame Liu of the Yongning Marquis house are of the same clan. To think it turned out to be the concubine-born attendant Ning instead.
This thumb ring makes a pair with Ning Wangshu's. Right now, I wish for nothing more than to take that figure I yearn for day and night into my arms. Yet the imperial harem is utterly bizarre. Those women's faces appear distorted and chaotic to my eyes. I fear that such blatant favoritism would make her the target of everyone's scrutiny. Earlier, Matron Q reported that she didn't bring any personal maidservants when entering the palace.
In reply to your majesty, first attendant Ning entered the palace alone and has no one serving by her side. According to protocol, the imperial household department should assign staff to her.
Clever indeed. Then let her have her wish. Go select some reliable servants and send them to her.
This servant obeys your majesty's decree.
Entering the palace alone, deliberately showing weakness, she sees things more clearly than anyone. Since she refuses to touch anything from the Marquis Manor, I shall vet everything for her myself.
Yonggang Palace is the residence of Consort D. Word is, she is a gentle and warm-hearted person. It turns out to be quite a good arrangement. Starting today, this is my new battlefield. What on earth did I eat for the first 16 years of this life? Watery porridge, rock-hard buns, and pickles were already considered rare treats. I ate scraps that even dogs would turn away from. For the sake of my health, I tried countless ways to secure sources of protein, even grasshoppers in autumn. I could swallow down without batting an eye. Only because of that did my health not completely deteriorate. Perhaps it is because this is no longer that manor where she lived on edge. Or perhaps just because she is finally treated as a human being. The only thing I need to be cautious about is Consort D Lunyanshu, who shares the same palace, since she is indeed of the same clan as my legal mother, Lady Liu. Still, come what may, I'll handle it when the time comes. It feels so wonderful to be treated like a human. Suchin, come accompany me for a stroll in the imperial garden to help digest my meal.
Yes, my lady.
Whether it was the sudden release after being suppressed for so long, or the sheer absurdity of transmigrating into a game, my temperament is far more relaxed than before.
My lady, please slow down. You just finished eating. Walking fast can give you a stomachache.
You girl, you care about health more than I do. In my previous life, working late into the night, I could occasionally look out the window and see the moon too. Yet the moon back then always carried a hazy gray film, unlike now, so bright and so clear. Actually, transmigrating here isn't all that bad. Life is still manageable, totally manageable.
Zhang Changxi.
This servant is here.
Let us take a quieter path to the imperial garden.
Over the years, it wasn't that I never thought of escaping or fighting back. But how could I escape? The Marquisate of Yongning was formidable, and Lady Liu's maiden family was even more powerful. In their eyes, I'm probably less than an ant. Who would stand up for me? The servants only flatter Madame Liu. Expecting them to switch sides is purely a fool's dream. In the face of absolute power and interest, they wouldn't even care to hear another word from you. A voice is never earned merely by speaking. It is propped up by the power behind you. But it is fine now. Life is finally looking up. Even if I must tread carefully in the deep palace from now on, and compete with others, it is still 1,000 times better than being at their mercy. I will definitely live well in this era.
Lord Lin is truly blessed. Your daughter is both talented and beautiful, widely recognized as the very best in this draft selection. She will surely win His Majesty's favor the most.
Talented and beautiful? That Lin Chi's face, with her bulbous nose and triangular eyes, a crooked mouth, and shockingly hideous looks. Looking at her for even a second makes us physically sick. These people are all utterly blind. If we didn't still need them to run the state, we would have had these barefaced liars dragged out and beheaded long ago. Have all the new candidates been properly settled into the palace today?
Replying to your majesty, all palaces have settled them properly. In response to your majesty, first-class attendant Ning has been settled in Consort D's palace of eternal harmony.
What are you afraid of? This place is so secluded. It is just the two of us. No one will, before entering the palace. I solemnly warn myself to live a peaceful life and keep a low profile. Yet here I am on my first night, stealing flowers in the imperial garden. Let's go. We'll find a vase for them back at our quarters to add some life to our side hall. Wait, you. Which palace are you a eunuch from? How dare you loiter here without permission? It is that tyrant. On my very first night in the palace, I broke the rules right in front of him, and even mistook him for a rogue.
His Majesty planned so much for this first attendant Ning, yet the first time they met, she immediately blurted out,
It is really her. My little moon holding an armful of flowers.
This concubine pays respects to your majesty. This concubine was careless with her words, and begs your majesty for forgiveness. Nanny Q clearly said that the emperor dislikes visiting the imperial garden most. How did I run right into him the very first time I broke the rules?
Never mind. Considering it is your first offense, you may rise.
Perhaps it was because I knelt sincerely and kowtowed sincerely. His Majesty surprisingly didn't hold it against me. His Majesty is actually quite reasonable, a down-to-earth person.
Rise. It seems first-class female attendant Ning is also a lover of flowers.
Previously, those who staged deliberate encounters were at least caned and demoted, or at worst, sentenced to death immediately. Yet this first-class female attendant Ning called His Majesty a eunuch and even thrust flowers into His Majesty's hands. Anyone else would have been dragged away long ago. Yet not only is she unharmed, His Majesty even helped her up with his own hands.
That thumb ring smells quite fragrant.
I'm doomed. What should I do? Could a thumb ring, maybe perhaps, actually smell fragrant? To be honest, I both like and dislike it. I dislike it because it is ugly, yet I like it because of what it represents. An imperial gift. These words are worth more than any gold or jewels. I like it very much.
Like.
It feels so smooth to the touch.
Humph. A very modest thought.
I had imagined our first formal meeting, Your Majesty, would be when attending your bedchamber, dressed in exquisite clothes, with delicate makeup, behaving gracefully and properly. I never imagined it would be like this right now.
It is late and the night mist is heavy. You should not stay outside for too long. Go on back.
Yes. This concubine takes her leave. In my past life, I loved doing crafts, wood carving, macrame. I even made rings myself. Did I add that setting into the rules? This thumb ring was made by his own hands. The bestowed thumb ring. The mysterious change of standing positions during the palace selection. Mother Kuo secretly tipping me off to avoid traps, and tonight pulling me up with his own hands and even knowing who I am. It felt like an invisible thread, suddenly tied everything together. Although work was exhausting in my previous life, I could always hold my head high. Yet in this life, I have never stood tall. No one here speaks of equality or people's rights. I thought I just wanted to survive first, but I realized that mere survival isn't enough. I want to live with dignity. I have wanted this from the very beginning. To think that merely a sumptuous dinner could shake the peace I had spent so long talking myself into. Your Majesty.
How dare this first attendant Ning? How dare she offend the imperial person like this? Wait, that is not right. His Majesty's martial arts skills are not weak. Why didn't he dodge it?
Gamble on his favor. Gamble on a chance to live in glory. No fear. Only the resolve to burn all bridges. I have scraped by, living this quiet life, for 16 long years. Enough. I, Ning Wangshu, survived 16 years of oppression without breaking down. I was never a coward to begin with. Never mind that, I must intimidate him first.
First class female attendant Ning, how dare you? His Majesty was offended by someone grabbing his collar. Yet not only was he not angry, he even pulled her into his arms.
He knew where I lived. 1 or 2 times might be a coincidence, but too many coincidences make it a certainty. I won this gamble. I finally have the chance to live with dignity and glory, and finally have the chance to take revenge on those who bullied me.
My lady, Attendant Ning ran into His Majesty in the imperial garden, and the emperor carried her back in his own arms. Your Grace, Attendant Ning has gone too far. You came out to greet them in person, yet she didn't utter a single word. Why aren't you angry?
If Ning Wangshu can truly seize the emperor's fleeting fascination to bear the imperial child, that would be wonderful. Using the life of a concubine's daughter to pave our path is a win no matter how you look at it. Being so impatient, she'll surely suffer during tomorrow's morning greetings. Practicing martial arts is great. From now on, I either do nothing or see it through to the very end. It was like that earlier in the imperial garden. Either don't approach him at all, or completely rattle his composure. Now that things have come this far, I might as well throw caution to the wind.
Though he was tyrannical, he had always set and followed strict rules. Moreover, due to those bizarre and supernatural matters, let alone favoring concubines, he rarely even permitted them to come near. Such wild and reckless behavior from the person before him. In all his 23 years, I have never seen the like before. When seeing his portrait before the selection, he only seemed like an aloof, gentle beauty. Only on the day of the palace audition, only then did I see the rough traces of suffering on him, suggesting he had never been treated well. He was probably like that too. Raised in the countryside since childhood, no one taught him, and no one told him where the boundaries lay. He could only rely on his own guesses, seeking a means of survival in the clumsiest way. How I wished to indulge his every whim, but I couldn't. What he needed was peace of mind, a promise that she will never be abandoned. What is the rush? I want so much to hide her away. She is so beautiful. How could the eyes of that crowd pass over her face? She should belong to him alone. Yet, he cannot. The moon is meant to hang high above. He cannot, simply because the moon shines on all, take upon himself the right to rob what belongs to her. Yet he could firmly keep him by his side through the illusion of gentleness.
No, why? I was actually quite looking forward to it. Could it be that with such a fine figure, and such a handsome face, if it is true, what a waste.
We ask you, who taught you these things? What things? Such brazen behavior.
No one taught me, this concubine figured it out myself.
Figured it out herself. As an unmarried maiden, where could she have figured this out? This must have been secretly taught to her by the Marquis of Yongning's household, and with no one to back her up. She didn't even realize she was being led astray, just like me back then, straying down the wrong path, completely unaware. To dare teach her such deceitful tricks, how dare they use him? They have a death wish. Do not do this again in the future.
No way. Will my days ahead still be easy?
At least wait until your name tablet is chosen. This is improper, and it is not showing respect to you.
I never thought that one day I would hear those 2 words again, and from his mouth.
Did I still scare her? We do not dislike it. It is just that we must wait. It shouldn't be like this between us. I too feared my darkness would scare her at first.
What a pity. I truly like him now.
What on earth is happening? His Majesty carried my lady back in his own arms. Yet why is she crying all of a sudden?
What could have happened?
My lady dared to hold on to His Majesty in the Imperial Garden, acting with such boldness. Instead of punishing her, His Majesty carried her all the way back to the palace. I thought good days were ahead, yet weeping came from the hall again.
He couldn't make sense of tonight either. However, one thing is certain. The palace will surely see no shortage of drama from now on. His Majesty loathes any stains. Last time, a palace maid accidentally splashed tea onto his sleeve, and she was dragged out and caned to death on the spot. Now his chest was soaked so heavily, yet His Majesty showed no displeasure at all.
Seeing her weep like this makes me want to lock her away. The outside world is far too dangerous. If she is kept away from it, she won't shed tears anymore.
Please don't cry, my lady. It doesn't matter that you didn't attend upon him tonight.
You only entered the palace today, yet His Majesty carried you back personally. Who else in the entire palace has such good fortune?
His Majesty rarely indulges in women to begin with, and he seldom selects name tablets. How many women spend years in the palace without ever seeing his face?
You have already taken the lead. The days ahead are long. There is no need to rush right now.
I never thought that living in this world, I would hear someone utter the word respect, a word spoken so lightly, yet heavier than gold. Heavens above, please do not deduct my karma points.
Yes, indeed. The heavens must have blessed you to meet His Majesty today. This servant will go light some incense right away.
Have you heard? His Majesty flipped first class attendant Ning's name tablet tonight. What name tablet? The new lady's green name tablets haven't even been submitted yet. His Majesty carried her back to Yonki Palace in his own arms.
Carried her? Are you sure you saw it right? It is absolutely true. Someone saw His Majesty carrying her with their own eyes, all the way from the Imperial Garden back to the West Side Hall. Goodness, how did first-class attendant Ning get so lucky? Who knows? I heard she is just moderately pretty at best. Shh, quiet down. Like it or not, she is still a lady of the court. If someone hears you, you'll be in for it.
In his favor. You're overthinking it. It is obvious you're on the night shift for the first time, clueless about everything.
Oh, eunuch, do you know the inside story?
Just now, when I passed by Yonga Palace, I saw with my own eyes His Majesty walking out from the west side with a cold face. The front of his dragon robe was soaking wet. His expression was colder than midwinter ice, and his robe was drenched. I reckon that first attendant Ning was clumsy, knocked over the tea, and spilled it all over His Majesty.
Then isn't first attendant Ning doomed?
Offending His Majesty on her very first day in the palace. What good end could she possibly have? I'm afraid after tomorrow morning's greetings, her name tablet will be revoked. Name tablet removed and be banished to the cold palace.
I was wondering, His Majesty has always strictly adhered to rules. How could he favor a newcomer before her nameplate is even presented? That first-class attendant Ning is born of a concubine, right? I heard she grew up in the countryside. No wonder she lacks tact. Her legitimate elder sister, first-class attendant Shu, is far superior. She is the one who truly has substance. Noble Lady Lin is quite remarkable too. She is, after all, the #1 beauty in the capital.
Since you like it, why are you not happy?
In response to your Majesty, I am happy.
You are sad.
I just lost my composure for a moment. I cannot remember how long I cried last night. All I know is that by the time I finished crying, I looked up and his dragon robe was completely ruined. At that moment, I had only one thought. I am finished, I am finished. This time, I am truly finished.
You had a rough childhood. From now on, you won't.
I've thought it through over and over, yet I still can't fathom how things unfolded this way. How did the plot jump here from that track?
My lady, it is time to rise. Today is your first morning audience with the Empress. You cannot be late.
Looking like this lacks presence. Given the commotion stirred up last night, Anyun with eyes can see. Today will be a fierce battle. It is fine. I am no longer the old Ning Wangshu. I am Neohuru Wangshu.
What did you say, my lady? What did you twist? Did you twist something getting up too fast? This servant will fetch the imperial physician right away.
I was just half asleep, talking nonsense.
You didn't twist anything. So your soul just hadn't returned yet, my lady. You scared me to death. It is good that you're fine. Once you pray before the Bodhisattva later, you'll surely be refreshed.
This little maid is lively and clever, just far too superstitious. Then again, I've transmigrated into a game world. What is wrong with being a little superstitious? Starting now, I must build my presence. At today's audience, no matter what trouble comes my way, I cannot lose.
Attendant Shu has arrived. She says she wants to go with you to pay respects.
My legitimate elder sister, Ning Qingyan, resides in the palace of Zhongqi. Going from Zhongqi to Kuning and Yonggi Palace is completely out of the way. To come all this way around, she must have heard all the palace rumors this morning and rushed over specifically to gloat over my misfortune.
Last night, this illegitimate sister from the countryside used some sly, seductive tricks to lure the emperor to Yongkong Palace. Yet in the end, His Majesty stormed off with a cold face, his dragon robe soaked. A wave of schadenfreude washed over her heart, as expected of someone beneath contempt. No matter how much she struggles, she will amount to nothing.
My lady, today is your first time paying respects to the Empress. Are you nervous?
What is there to be nervous about? It is others who should be nervous.
Indeed, those who should panic are the ones who are unsophisticated, have no backing, and incurred His Majesty's displeasure as soon as they entered the palace, just like your concubine-born sister, Ning Wangshu.
To secure a place in His Majesty's heart, beauty alone is far from enough. There must also be contrasts and foils. A dignified, magnanimous, and educated legitimate daughter of a marquis, flanked by a crude, uncultured, and unruly concubine-born sister. Won't the distinction be clear at a glance?
She grew up in the countryside for over 10 years, ignorant of the 4 arts. Her palace etiquette and rules were merely crammed into her head at the last minute upon returning. Mother had already set up the trap long ago. Rumors outside only say that Ning Wangshu refused to learn proper decorum herself, while my image as Ning Qingyan will only appear more graceful and magnanimous. Once Ning Wangshu is chosen for bed attendance, if she luckily becomes pregnant, we will execute the plan to keep the child and eliminate the mother, handing the baby over to Consort D to raise. By then, Consort D will owe a debt of gratitude to the Yongning Marquis manor, and naturally speak well of me before the Empress Dowager. That will give me yet another solid backer. Looking back at it now, what does all that matter? Same carriage, same rank. Once inside the palace, it is real ability that counts. I have beauty, talent, pedigree, and grace. First, I was bestowed a jade bracelet, then uniquely granted an honorable title. What about Ning Wangshu? Ning Wangshu has nothing at all. A plain-looking, doomed to be unfavored concubine-born daughter standing beside me will only make me appear all the more radiant and peerless. Qingdai, this servant is here. When you see first-class female attendant Ning later, be polite. She is my sister. As her elder legitimate sister, I must naturally take good care of her in every way.
Yes, this servant understands. Taking care of her is just using her as a target and a stepping stone, just to flatter yourself in front of everyone.
My dear sister, you must stay alive and well. The longer you live, the plainer and more unremarkable you are, the more brilliant I will shine. How wonderful.
Sister, today is our first morning greeting to the Empress. It would be impolite to be late. Whatever it is, we can talk on the way. Let us hurry.
My lady, slow down.
Without a single hair out of place. How dare this concubine-born sister give me attitude? No matter, the emperor already despises her anyway. I will pay her back double for the humiliation I suffered today.
Today is the day the newcomers pay their respects to the Empress.
In reply to your majesty, it is indeed around this time. They have likely all gathered at Kuning Palace by now.
Perhaps she suffered too much in the past, which is why she has so many tears to shed. Someone owes her for all that suffering. Paying respects at Kuning Palace.
Before that, I don't want to get tangled up with them. Once the tea is served and I am officially instated, we can talk about the rest. I heard she couldn't even hold a teacup steady, and even spilled it all over His Majesty. When serving tea to the Empress later, make sure your hands don't shake and drop the teacup, soiling the floor of Kuning Palace.
First-class female attendant Ning is new to the palace. It is only natural that she is feeling uneasy, but in the future, she must still be mindful of proper decorum so as not to stir up unnecessary trouble again.
Sister Concubine Li, you shouldn't say it like that. It was First Attendant Ning's first time seeing His Majesty. Flustering at the moment is understandable. Why make a fuss over such a minor matter?
What if she really drops the teacup later, causing all of us to be scolded by Her Majesty the Empress? Can you take the blame for this, Consort Xian?
Her Majesty the Empress has always been magnanimous. Why would she reprimand everyone over such a minor matter?
It is truly hard to imagine. that this person is a consort to an emperor barely in his 20s. What? I kindly teach you palace rules and you dare be defiant. With looks like that, you dare block someone's way. Look in the mirror and see if you're even worthy. Haha. If concubine Lee had said anything else, I might have let it pass. Yet she just had to bring up my looks. Then she can't blame me for borrowing her momentum to completely flip the table. I am a candidate chosen personally by His Majesty.
First Attendant Ning certainly has a sharp tongue. Fresh in the palace, yet she dares argue with concubine Lee.
Greetings to the noble consort.
Hen. Impudent First Attendant Ning, where are your manners? How dare you block the noble consort's path? Step aside and kneel to beg for forgiveness at once.
A concubine-born daughter is just that, utterly unfit for society, offending the emperor upon arrival, and now angering the noble consort. She is in for a miserable time ahead.
His Majesty arrives.
Why is he everywhere?
Greetings to your Majesty.
Your Majesty, what brings you here today?
Rise, all of you. What is going on here?
Today, he and the man last night who let me cry in his arms, while clumsily patting my back to comfort me, seem like two completely different people. His demeanor now is identical to that during the selection. Your Majesty, my looks might not be peerless, but they certainly hit right on Your Majesty's aesthetic taste. You couldn't possibly say Your Majesty saw through to my beautiful soul just from a single portrait, right? She deliberately remained silent, leaving Pei Yan to guess it all on his own.
Ning Wangshu, so vulgar and foolish. She is completely finished today.
I couldn't even bear to say a harsh word to her. So why is she crying upon arriving at the Palace of Earthly Tranquility?
This is,
Who bullied you?
The rumors were wrong. How is this being cast aside? He is clearly doting on her and holding her in the palm of his hand.
Running into the emperor last night was tantamount to offending more than half the harem. Wishing for a peaceful life in this deep palace going forward is utterly impossible. I must fight, I must seize, and firmly grasp every pillar of support that keeps me alive. Her resolve hardened.
Impudent First Attendant Ning, mind the palace rules and let go at once.
She actually showed affection to me in public. Don't cry, tell me whatever grievance you have. We shall seek justice for you.
Last night, His Majesty was drenched and grim-faced. When he left Yonggi Palace, the whole palace rumored that His Majesty loathed Ning Wangshu. I dared to take advantage of the noble consort's slight harassment, and now look what happened. I shot myself in the foot.
The imperial harem must prioritize rules, bullying in the rear palace, stirring up gossip, and disrupting morning greeting etiquette regarding today's matter. The Empress cannot evade blame.
Yet Ning Wangshu received not a word of reproach from His Majesty. Instead, he held concubine Lai accountable for mere bickering. He clearly used the rules as a pretext to show blatant favoritism. Concubine Lai stirred up gossip and bullied the newcomer. Dock 3 months of her monthly allowance. Order her to copy the precepts for women 100 times and reflect behind closed doors, this concubine.
Just a mere man, wrapped around my finger. After using him, I can just toss him aside.
Your Majesty, Attendant Shu has a graceful appearance, a gentle disposition, and decent talent. She is among the finest of this batch of newcomers.
She is at most merely pleasant looking and ordinary. She just had to stand in front of Ning Wangshu. Comparing the two of them, she looks all the more dull and uninteresting. The only reason she was brought into the palace was that when Ning Wangshu was bestowed titles before the draft, to balance the Marquise's household situation, she was bestowed a title along with her.
Your Majesty.
Her aggrieved weeping last night was understandable, but right now, smiling at me so openly in broad daylight is far too bold. It was hard enough for me to restrain myself, yet she keeps flirting with me.
What a hypocritical man. Cold, on the outside, yet enjoying it more than anyone else.
Over this past half year, imperial favor has been fading by the day. For 2 whole months, His Majesty has not set foot in my palace to spend the night. I hold the high title of noble consort in vain, while in truth, the imperial favor has worn thin.
Summoning, reward noble Lady Lin.
If not for this first-class female attendant Ning causing such a fuss, why would His Majesty not even glance in my direction the entire time?
Others cannot see through the Emperor's cold facade, but after several interactions with him, along with the knowledge of my past life as a guarantee, I am certain he will not blame me.
Pass on our imperial decree. Today's newcomers shall each be rewarded according to rank. Yes, Your Majesty.
I have teased the Emperor far too many times today. I shouldn't keep fleecing the same sheep. I must take it easy. After all, the sheep can't run away. The Emperor never intended to bestow general rewards. He clearly only spoke up after noticing first-class female attendant Ning's mood. All of us are merely riding on first-class female attendant Ning's coattails. I'd better slow down. Push too hard and the sheep will run. Starting tonight, the name tablets will be presented. I still have quite a wait ahead of me. I really don't want to waste my limited life on useless people. Instead of spending time dealing with them, I'd rather figure out the Emperor. At the very least, he is quite generous with his rewards.
Sister, you come from a marquise's household after all. How could you lack such propriety stealing the spotlight in the palace? You are humiliating our marquise's manner. If you want to stand out, you must rely on talent and beauty, not on weeping and reckless antics.
First attendant Ning truly has quite the tricks, putting on such a grand show just during the morning greetings. Just you wait. I have noted down this score today. You will have plenty of grievances to suffer in this palace later on.
Please calm your anger, concubine Li. My younger sister is still young and foolish. With your magnanimous heart, please do not lower yourself to her level.
Concubine Li, you must be joking. This concubine was merely speaking the truth. On the other hand, your ladyship, on the palace pathway, making overt threats to a selected lady personally chosen by the Emperor. If this should reach His Majesty's ears, I wonder what he would think, you.
You certainly are imposing now, sister. You don't even respect Lady Li anymore. Just don't forget, the higher you climb, the harder you fall.
Thank you for the reminder, sister. However, I believe, instead of worrying about others falling hard, you had better worry about yourself. After all, not every stunning beauty can catch His Majesty's eye. I've endured so many years in this palace, and never have I suffered such humiliation. A lowly concubine, born girl fresh to the palace. How dare she, your ladyship? Please calm your anger. There will be plenty of time ahead. Fine. I'd like to see just how long she can stay in His Majesty's favor. The day she falls out of favor, I'll make her pay back today's debt with interest.
My lady.
Let's return to the palace.
My lady, back on the palace pathway. Weren't you afraid concubine Li might actually strike you?
She wouldn't dare. The Emperor just punished her for my sake. If she were to lay a hand on me now, she would be seeking her own doom. In this palace, imperial favor is a protective talisman. And with His Majesty, my talisman is stronger than anyone's. Today, he protected me in front of everyone. The entire palace saw it. Keeping a low profile won't be an option anymore. Though that is fine too. Since I can't hide it, I might as well not hide it all.
What are you looking at, my lady?
Nothing. Let's go back and see the fine treasures His Majesty bestowed.
Earlier today at the Palace of Earthly Tranquility, did anyone give First Attendant Ning a hard time on her way back?
In reply to Your Majesty, First Attendant Ning has returned safely to Yongqing Palace. Concubine Li and First Attendant Shu made a few remarks on the road, but First Attendant Ning handled them all appropriately.
Have someone keep an eye on things. If anything unusual happens, report it at once.
This servant obeys Your Majesty's decree. I thought His Majesty would first choose the name tablet of a higher-ranking consort, such as Concubine Yi or Noble Lady Lin. Who would have thought? His gaze never left first-class female attendant Ning from the start.
Let it be her.
Summoning a newcomer on her very first night in the palace is a first for our dynasty. First-class female attendant Ning, receive the decree. His Majesty has flipped your nameplate. Please bathe and change immediately, milady, and proceed to the Palace of Heavenly Purity to attend to His Majesty.
Congratulations, milady. Felicitations, milady.
Sooner than I expected. It seems that sheep couldn't hold back after all.
Yes, indeed.
Are you scared? No. Aren't you afraid we will devour you?
Your Majesty wouldn't have the heart. If you did, you wouldn't have just held me last night.
Nonsense.
Your Majesty simply couldn't bear to. Not only can Your Majesty not bear to, and you couldn't bear to let me suffer even the slightest grievance, right?
Yes, we truly cannot bear to.
My lady, this was also rewarded by His Majesty.
Seize them. I anticipated that Madame Lu would not let this rest.
Have the little eunuch caned to death.
Caned to death. The Marquis of Yongning failed to raise his daughter properly. Find the Marquis of Yongning 1 year's stipend. First class female attendant Shuning Qingyan is demoted to second class female attendant and confined to Zhongqi Palace. Forbidden to leave without an imperial decree.
I have no such mother, nor do I have such siblings. When they abandoned me back then, they should have known this day would come. Ning Wangshu is in high favor now. We can no longer target his child. As things stand, we can only take the initiative to show goodwill.
Though everyone across the palace harbored their own schemes, no one dared to make a move against Ning Wangshu again lightly. This child's hardships have finally ended, and happiness has begun. His Majesty truly cares for him. The Empress Dowager's spirit in heaven can now rest at ease.
You stay by my side here every day, neglecting even the court affairs.
How could state affairs be more important than you? Pass down our imperial edict. Confer upon Ning Wangshu the title of noble consort Hua. Grant her residence in the Palace of Eternal Spring, and name the imperial prince Pei Nianshu.
Pei Nianshu? Nianshu is a fine name.
Congratulations, Your Majesty.
Ah.
Have you noticed the faces of the imperial consorts? I noticed long ago noble Lady Lin's face. Heavens, after all these years, and assistant Ning. People used to say she was even more beautiful than noble consort Hua, but now she pales in comparison. Could it be that the birth of the first princes is a miracle sent by the heavens?
Wangshu, in truth, we knew all along that something was wrong with this world. Ever since the day we ascended the throne, everyone we saw had changed their appearance. We thought we had gone mad, until the moment we laid eyes upon your portrait. Only then did we realize that it was not we who had gone mad. It was this world that had lost its mind. Later, we kept wondering why you were the only normal one. Until Nianshu was born, and the world began to return to normal. Only then did we understand that heaven sent you to save us, and to save this entire world.
Pei Yan. Actually, I was the one who created this world.
We always knew you were different from the rest. No matter where you come from, no matter who you are our wife. The only love of our life.
Imperial Father, wait for me. Imperial Father, slow down. Ha ha.
From then on, Ning Wangshu was the only empress in the imperial harem.
Haha. It is so round.
No matter how round it is not as round as my Wangshu.